So yesterday we talked about percents. Today we want to talk about percent change, percent increase or decrease. For example, you might have a supplier that you work with a lot that offers you an 8% discount because you've bought a lot of materials from them over the past so many years. And that's what they call a trade discount. It happens a lot if you do enough volume business with a certain company. Many of them will give you a contractor's discount or a trade discount. So let's say you make a purchase that has a list price of $840. How much are you going to pay for that? Well, we could find the 8%. 8 over 100 equals blank over 840. And we could cross multiply and divide. 8 times 840 divided by 100 is $67.20, correct? What do we do with that? Well, we have to take that $840 and subtract $67.20 to get $772.80. Well, you'll see what happened there. What we had was we had the full price, or the list price, and we subtracted that discount to get the amount paid. And if we look at that, each of those numbers, we described them with a dollar amount over here. But in a percent problem, each number can also be described with a percent. The list price is the starting value. And we said the starting value, or the whole amount, is always 100%. The discount was 8%. Well, for subtracting, 100 minus 8 would be 92. The amount paid would be 92%. So rather than finding 8% and subtracting it out, what we could have done was we could have simply found 92% of the 840. Cross multiply and divide gives us $772.80. We would have got our answer in a single step rather than having to subtract it back off. So let's say you have an item that's regular price of $180, but it is marked 30% off. How much are you going to pay for it? Well, if it's 30% off, what percent are you going to pay? 70%. So we can just find 70% of the 180. So it'll be 70 times 180 divided by 100 is $126. So you'll pay $126 for that item. Make sense? Well, it can go the other direction as well. Let's say that you are in a spot where there's a 6% fee for handling or whatever, and you order materials that are $2,100. Just like before, we could find the 6% and add it on, but the $2,100 is the whole amount. If we add 6% to that, what percent are we paying? 106%. Very good. So if we just find 106% of the 2,100, we're finding the 6%, but we're keeping the whole 2,100 there as well. So 2,100 times 106% is what? $2,226? So that's what we would pay after that $6 additional handling, 6% additional handling fee. Let's say that you are going to order, well, not order, let's say you need 230 studs for a job. Your experience is that about 1 in 20 or so are bad. So in other words, 5% are either crooked or whatever, scabbed up on the edges to be unusable. You can't use them. So how many do you need to order? Well, that's what most people would say, is you just add 5%. The thing is, 5% that are bad are not out of the 230 studs, they're out of the amount that you order, right? If 5% are bad, what percent are good? 95% are good. And you need 230 of them to be good. So now you're going to find the amount that you're going to order total right here. So 100 times 230 divided by 95. Gives us 242.1. We're just going to call it 242 that you would need to order. Make sense? Let's see. Another application, this is interest. Let's say you have a customer who doesn't pay up, doesn't have the money at the end of the job to pay up. So in your contract, it allows you for 1% per month interest, or 12% annual interest. So let's say that they still owed you $8,300, and it takes them 3 months to pay. Now there are a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do simple interest, which is just adding 1% per month. 3 months would be adding 3% to it. So that'd be 103% of 8,300. So 85.49. Well, that's simple interest. In most cases, they add the 1% every month, and then the next month you get interest on top of your interest, right? That's called compound interest. So if it were compound interest, you would have to do 1% every month. So 101% out of the 8,300 is 8,383. You'd have to do another 101% for the second month, but now it's 8,383. You'd have to do that 3 times. You'd end up 85.51.50. You end up getting an extra $2.50 compared to just doing simple interest. But you do have to do this calculation 3 times to make it work. So it's kind of a bear. What do you think? Good stuff? Okay, well, it's more so homework that I have for you today rather than lecture. I'm going to give you a packet. In this packet, it'll be page 115 through 122. Again, you'll be doing the gray boxes. What's that? Oh, it's because my connection's a little sloppy for some reason today. See, that's my cable gets a little loose. That's when it gets a lot loose. So the gray boxes in that packet. Then there's another packet. In the second packet, it'll just be the odd numbered problems. And I'll hand those packets out and I'll explain it a little bit more in just a second.